So this is one of the critical concept in amath circles. So it's a bit like if you miss out on this concept, maybe there will be some questions that you couldn't do at all. So the important concept is on this part, where the perpendicular bisector of a chord will pass through the center of a circle. So the definition of a chord will be the two endpoints are on the circumference. So the two endpoints are on the circumference. So if you get or somewhat construct a perpendicular bisector. So imagine a perpendicular bisector. The characteristic of a perpendicular bisector means it cuts the chord at the midpoint and it cuts it at 90 degrees. So the center will somehow be on the center of the circles will be on this line. Okay, so there are two extreme situations. The extreme situation for this is when the chord is vertical or horizontal. So they can be a description like this. So this is the situation where the chord is a vertical line. So something like this. So the circle is passing through. So you got somewhat a circle like this. So where is the vertical chord? So the part of the y-axis is the vertical chord. So it is the chord. So because this chord is vertical, that means the perpendicular bisector will be horizontal. So the perpendicular bisector will be perfectly horizontal. And you could have easily gotten the equation. So for example, in this situation, where if let's say I do know that the y-intercept is like 2 and 6, then I would know, I can guess the midpoint here. So the equation will be 6 plus 2 divided by 2. And because of this, and if let's say we apply the idea that the center is along this line, that means, right, I will know that somehow the center will be K4. So usually you'll be given sufficient information to find the value of K in such a case. So they may tell you the radius. So you apply the idea of radius here. So this will be the radius and this will be the radius. So usually the question will provide this information for you to find the center if you can understand that the chord is vertical and the perpendicular bisector is horizontal. So the same thing is going to happen in another extreme situation. Another extreme situation where the chord is horizontal. So when the chord is horizontal, it will look somewhat like this. So where is the horizontal chord? This is the horizontal chord. So this is the horizontal chord because it's on the x-axis. So it's perfectly horizontal. So the perpendicular bisector will be purely vertical, cutting at the midpoint. So in this case, the chord is horizontal. So the perpendicular bisector will be vertical. So in the same situation, if let's say we got the x-intercept, usually with the x-intercept, it's actually very easy to find. So for example, this is 3 and 7. So if this is 3 and 7, the perpendicular bisector will be just half of it. So this is the equation of the perpendicular bisector. And if there is a perpendicular bisector, the center will be somewhat 5K. So usually the K can be found if they will have given you some radius information. So this will be one of the critical concepts in amath circles. So it will be quite hidden in that means it's something like assume you will know. So it will not be stated to you. So that is the perpendicular bisector of a chord passing through a center, passing through the center of a circle.